Hello and welcome back to Glydecast. I am your host, Valifor, and with me, and I'll make this real quick, in this
You're not Valifor, man.
And, hang on. And I'll quickly tell you who they are. We've got Legendary Griffin.
Hello.
And we got 1H.
It's a me, one of the H.
Today, and I'll try to be really quick about this, explain the Artisans Project, and quickly talk about what we did in this quick project. But first, we'll quickly talk about the latest news in Glyde, and I'll quickly explain that. Val?
My name's Shaggy. What are you doing, man? It's a me, Shaggy.
Is that identity theft happening right in front of you?
Exactly.
I hijacked this.
Yeah, Val's stealing the show this time. Don't mind him.
I'm confused. I don't even know what's going on at the moment.
Bro, that was planned for a while.
Was it?
Yes.
It's a long time cooking.
Wow.
That Shaggy's like a super villain. He's like, I'm gonna be so quick that Valifor can't even see me coming.
Okay.
Alright.
So, into the news here. There's a couple things to talk about here. First things first, 1 HP. It's not official, but it is something that's been done. 1H, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, it's kind of a thing that's only possible at a very limited yeah, it's like a bonus mode or like a mod that allows you to play with like only 1 health. It's pretty funny, but wow, it's also really hard. I would not recommend playing Glyde like that, at least until you have a lot of practice.
It's not gonna happen. Like, no one's gonna complete Glide with 1 HP. Like, I swear. Like, people complete Elden Ring, no hit runs. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think it
with
is possible. Like, I beat my record last night in the second arena. The third one, yeah, I don't know about the third one, if that's even possible. But I think the second one is definitely, like, doable.
The only way I could see it working is if there was some kind of, like, upgrade or something like Leaf Bracer in Kingdom Hearts, where if you get to 1 HP, it, like, gives you a buffer before instantly dying. Otherwise, yeah, I feel like everyone's just gonna die.
Yeah, no. Like, you have to only make do with the different abilities. And, well, Water Shield allows you to have, you know, few hits and have a few different abilities in Glyde's arsenal that can give you some iframes. You have to just work with that and then play really smart. But it's not easy. I can at least say that.
We can always crank it up to the max as well, and we can disable saving.
Oh my god.
Oh.
1 health.
Oh my god.
Imagine one health, no saving run. Oh.
That actually sounds terrible.
I don't think it's possible because of the corruption.
And I'm all for it.
Yeah, the bonus arenas.
Oh yeah. How are they gonna go through the corruption?
That's impossible. But you can do the bonus arenas because there's nothing like the corruption there.
Is there a way to code corruption so that it can't actually, like...
No, because it goes through the Oceanic Shield ability. Pretty sure. So it would have to be invincible or something while doing the heal, and I don't think there's a way to do that.
We'll think about it for that special mode, maybe. So if that mode is enabled, then corruption doesn't kill you straight away.
Just plant a bunch of Mario mushrooms all around, so every time you get that, you're invincible for that 30 seconds you have it active.
Like a super dragon fruit.
Yes.
Big boy.
Yeah, that was fun because you were streaming 1H. You were doing something, and then Scott joined, and he randomly said something about, you know, something 1 HP, something gonna hack the game, made it happen.
Yeah, that's the summary of it. But I think if Valifor is on board, we could easily make that like mode you can activate. Then I would say at least.
Yeah, I don't mind stuff like this. This is just extra feature that makes gives people a bit of an extra challenge, and it makes it a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
So
I can see it working by just, flipping a switch, and then if you enter the bonus arena, one of the bonus arenas with that enabled, then it puts you to 1 health. It doesn't change.
One thing that I was trying to do, so first off, I can't get far at all from the first arena because I'm just not good. So I can't get far at all. But one thing I was trying to do, and I want you to give that a shot, 1H, is the parry, just all parries. No, nothing but parries. I can get to round 5 with just parrying.
Yeah.
But
so one health and then just parrying.
Just parrying. Because I mean, theoretically, you can complete everything just by doing a parry.
I'm still a little bit unsure about the mage, but it should be possible. It's just really hard because you have to.
It would be very hard, yeah.
It depends on what the mage throws at you. You would have to, get close and then somehow get a parry that breaks the shield, and then right after land a parry from one of those, elements of.
Right. That would be challenging.
That's really hard. You can't mess up once.
No, yeah, not at all. So that'll be the next challenge.
I'll see if it's doable, but anyway, that's not the main topic. So
nope. Next on the news list is patch updates. Val, do you want to talk about any patch updates, or you want to move on to this one?
Patch updates for the Patreon build, you mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so yesterday actually I released a small, big for the training room, I guess. An update where Patreons, and I mean everyone can actually access this area. You can now access Sanctum of Heroes, which is like a special location in the training room where eligible Patreons will be able to select their NPCs that will represent them when the demo is out, basically. So they will be able to pick their NPC, like the flavor text of that NPC and their name, and then we'll put that NPC into the game, and everyone will be able to see their NPC and talk with them. This is like a way to say thank you, like a special way to say thank you for people who are going like above and beyond and then donating a lot more towards the project than just like average Patreon, I guess. So yeah, this is like a special reward for ultimate and ancient tier only at the moment. So yeah, that's in the demo now. So if you want to explore this little area, you can find it in the training room.
It's a very peaceful area too. I love the music.
Some relaxing vibes, but also like mystical.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a little bit of an inside Easter egg in a way.
A big
because
one.
It's like a 1H composed that track for a specific purpose, in a way. But I think it's a good.
It works here as well.
Yeah, I mean we know what it is.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is. That's fine for now.
One other thing is that the latest patch has a few tiny buffs, so nature and ice element. Yeah. So,
yeah.
We weren't really happy with how Field of Thorns worked, so after some people talked about that move and also Path of Ice being a little bit underwhelming, and Field of Thorns in particular was just, mainly a stun with kind of mediocre damage, but now it's more, it kind of roots enemies instead, so they can't walk, and they also get like this fusion of energy, which acts like a time bomb to an extent, and it stacks.
Yeah, it's kind of like a debuff that stacks, and then after a certain period of time, it explodes and deals damage.
Yes, and on weaker enemies, it'll also launch them into the air. So it's you get kind of like some insurance for landing it on some enemies. Maybe get an opening if you're suddenly being pressured a lot. I think it's a really good change, and I think it's more, in line with what we had in mind for nature element. Also, ice getting a little more easy time managing to freeze enemies. So Path of Ice just freezes enemies faster.
Anything else for the news you guys like to share, or moving on?
No. I think that was like the most recent update. I mean, I was busy with some other Glide-related things over the last few days. But it's all kind of looking better and better now, and we've kind of started working with some, with I think about 3-4 artists for different kind of artwork for Glyde as well. So we got some portraits being done, very nice high quality ones. Also some environment concept arts for the full game, and also some enemy designs and like animal designs as well for so yeah, I mean, all the creatures and stuff, they're getting redesigned, and we're gonna get some original concepts and models done for that. And obviously this is all done thanks to Patreons who are supporting and donating towards the game. So all the money goes towards the game, obviously, and we just want to show you that, you know, this money gets put to the good use. So I can't wait to share some more high quality artwork with you, and also you know, new 3D models and like the redesigned enemies and everything in the future. So yeah, just stay tuned for that, I guess.
I won't spoil anything, but it's looking really good, yeah.
Also, a couple secrets happening in the background.
Oh yeah, secrets. We were all about those secrets.
Yeah, if people, those who can play the latest version, play around with Eyes on Nature and see if it feels any different.
Ooh, okay. All right. So moving on to the main topic. This is the Artisans Project. So this was what basically started Glyde, if I'm correct, right? This was the project before?
Yep. This was the OG Glyde / Spyro. Or more like Spyro turned to Glyde in a way.
Yep, so I got a bunch of questions here. Most of them are mine, but then also I got some other questions from other listeners. And so basically starting off fresh here, what started the idea of creating your first game? Like, you know, you wanted to get into game development. This is your first one, but what was the idea of you starting it?
Yeah, so I think originally, I mean, I think I've mentioned this briefly in previous episode, but yeah, so in terms of the Artisans Project, basically the whole thing kind of started when I went to college, and I started to do a games design course. We obviously have been asked to pick an engine. We could have chosen between Unity or Unreal. I went with Unreal for some reason. I'm not sure why, really. It just kind of seemed like a better choice to me.
Good choice.
So I did. And then I was like, so what's the best way to actually learn Unreal Engine? And I came up with a cool idea of recreating some mechanics from a simple game. And the game that kind of came to my mind back then was my favorite childhood game, Spyro. Because I mean, when you think about it, it's actually quite simple mechanics. You know, the game features very simple mechanics. So you know, there wasn't really a lot of kind of confusing logic that I had to kind of do. You know, I basically, when I was jumping into Unreal, I was just thinking, so okay, let's see if I can make you know, my character pick up this crystal, and then I had to work it out. You know, to kind of reintroduce those very simple mechanics. But what really kind of motivated me and to do all the games design and stuff like this is actually the art side of things. I really wanted to be able to create levels in games. Like, I really kind of like all the little details in the levels, and you know, I thought it would be quite fun to be able to create something of my own. That, you know, players could then move around and explore. So I've decided that, you know, it would be a good idea to basically recreate the first homeworld from Spyro in Unreal Engine 4, and yeah, that's pretty much how I started, really.
Awesome. So next question here, and it could be a very, very quick answer, but like, when did you start the project? Like, time frame? You mentioned that it was freshly it was like during college.
Ooh,
so.
Yeah, that was like a few years back now. I can't really remember. I mean, more than 5 years ago, that's definitely.
Because I can trace back to, as far as I know, 2017 is when you started.
Yeah,
was it sooner?
2017, 2018, something like this. I can't really remember exactly because I was like working on it for a long time as well. Because again, it was something that I was doing purely at home when I wasn't at uni and I didn't have any assignments and stuff like this. So whenever I was having some free time and I was playing in Unreal Engine, I was kind of just working on that project. Most of my work actually was literally in Blender because I was learning how to use Blender as well and how to actually make models and how to texture the models and stuff like this. So that took a big portion of the time as well. But yeah, so it's hard for me to exactly give you like an exact time frame. But yeah, I mean that was like 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago, I will say. And it probably took a couple months or even maybe a year to make. But that was like literally just, maybe 1 day a week or so. So it was very slow process and I was also learning. So I think if I was to redo it now, it would probably take me maybe a month and it would be like 100 times better.
Amazing what you learned in that amount of time.
Yes.
Okay, so next question is, what was your initial goal for this project? Like, did you have an end goal to this?
Yeah. So I mean, the main goal was to literally just learn Unreal. Learn as many kind of techniques that I could, and learn as much as I can in terms of like the development pipeline. So like making the model, texturing it, and UV mapping, unwrapping. And I also even played around with some very simple animations and like making custom rigs in Blender and stuff, which I absolutely hated. I'm not made to be an animator.
Understandable.
Yeah. So I dabbled with a little bit of everything, to be honest, because initially it was just me. So I had to do everything myself, really. So most of my focus was actually not even programming the game to actually make it playable, but it was more to just recreate the homeworld and to show people how it could potentially look if it was remade in Unreal Engine 4. So I was mostly just stuck in Blender, and then I was also stuck in Unreal, putting all the assets in and actually placing them and stuff like this. The gameplay part only came later, when some people started suggesting that it would be cool to maybe run around this level, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try to do it. It will be a good learning experience to actually try to code all the mechanics as well. So and I started doing that as well. So kind of like the Glyde demo, it kind of got it kind of went out of the proportion. But I think it was a really good learning experience, and it helped me a lot. And obviously, thanks to this, we now got Glyde, so it was worth it.
Awesome. So next question is, who all did you have in your team for this project? Like everyone. I know you've had more than what's on the show at the moment too.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot of people tried to help and contribute. So the thing is, like with the as a part of a team, it was Griffin, and then we've also had, I had a friend, Lawrence, who I've also mentioned briefly. He disappeared somewhere. I don't really know where. He's just kind of gone from the internet, I think. I really don't know why. He didn't even say goodbye, unfortunately, so I don't know what's going on. So he helped me a lot as well. So huge credit to him, because he helped me with some programming, and he was trying to teach me Unreal Engine as well.
That was the guy that you mentioned that basically wanted to use TeamViewer to kind of show you some things, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So Lawrence was the first person, and then I think it was Griffin and 1H. They joined around the same kind of Actually, 1H I think joined after Artisans.
I heard about Artisans, and
yeah.
That's when I you had just started on Glyde.
Yeah. So Griffin joined at the end because I needed some animations, and you've helped with rigging and like animating some characters there, like the Norks. And I think some of the dragons that were free from the crystals. The elders or whatever they're called. Can't remember. And then I've also had a lot of like one thing kind of contribution. So it was kind of like a community project. There was a composer who composed the theme, like the music. He kind of just I will say reignited the Artisans theme in a way. I should have prepared for this, to be honest, because I can't remember his name. I'm really sorry. But so he contributed the soundtrack, and then we've also had some other person who made a Nork model. Again, that was years back. I can't remember the name, but I'll probably send them to you. And then we can maybe put their name on the screen so they are credited. And I've had Bold King Cole help voice the dragons. So I mean, there was like about 5 people I think involved in terms of like in terms of the project. I mean, I pretty much have made everything myself, but like one person did a music track, one person did some did this,
voice
did
acting.
That. So there was like it was very very amateurish. No one had like much of an idea of what we are exactly doing with this project. Some people just kind of contributed something. I've also had some people I've reached out about the Spyro model and some Spyro animations. I can't remember what I exactly ended up using. I think it was a Hero's Tale model.
Yes.
I think. I can't even remember where I got that model from. It was someone on Reddit, I think, let me use their model and their animation. I think it could have been the Monocled Potato guy. Could have been, maybe. I can't remember. But there was some modders that were modding Spyro, and they let me, and some fan art was being made, and they recreated like the better model for Unreal, and I used that. To be honest, again, it was years back, so my memory is quite vague, like on this. I can't really remember all the details about the project, but it was fun to do, and it kind of went a bit wild in the internet for some reason as well, which is funny. But yeah, that's the team story in a way. So there was some people that kind of contributed overall. But Griffin is like the only one that actually stayed and carried over to Glyde. And then 1H joined afterwards.
So, real quick, I just wanted to load up the Artisans Project and go to credits, because then all the names are going to be there.
Oh yeah, that would be a good idea. Maybe
but
we can...
it goes so fast, and the music was so
dragon fruits.
loud.
Yeah. So we did. So yeah, we did have this issue with credits. I don't think it was fixed. Where if you had a good computer, the credits would go faster.
Oh no!
It was so fast, so I couldn't read
So
it.
if you have like an RTX, 5060,
So random.
yeah, then it would go like.
Guess it was like a tick thing, and then it. Yeah.
So basically, it wasn't. Yeah. So it wasn't the delta. I think basically it was just like ticking, and because your PC could do like 200-300 frames, it was doing that. It was going at that kind of speed.
This is like many times faster than
God.
normal. Just
Because it's a 32-bit game, so
At least now we know. Well, now we know what caused the issue and like why, how to kind of prevent this from happening in Glyde. But that's why it also, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you glide in that project, if you have a good computer, you'll glide quicker.
Yes,
and
I noticed that.
and sometimes it's hard to control because you like the movement in certain animations are like basically because of the frame rate again and because of the tick. So I don't have that project anymore, I think.
It's still downloadable. You can still access it to it.
It is on the internet. A lot of people have re-uploaded it to different places as well. So it's like, I guess it will be on the internet forever now. But
it's still. I got it through your YouTube video, the YouTube video you talked about it, and
so that's active as well.
It's just available, if you want to play
so
that.
If someone wants to experience a piece of history, you can download this atrocity.
I think it's a Google Drive link, and then you can download it through Google Drive. That's how I was able to access it.
It's the reignited trilogy, except not really a trilogy.
Which one is it though? Is it the Christmas one or is it the normal one?
It's the normal one. The Christmas one was still there though.
Okay.
But it's the normal one.
Okay. Yeah, because there's two versions, by the way.
That was the Christmas version.
Actually, to deviate off the questions a little bit, want to explain a little bit about the Christmas one? Because I don't know much about that at all.
It was just I think it was close to Christmas when I was working on the Artisans project, and I was like, so what if how would Artisans look if it was covered in snow and everything? So then I just did it, and then I released it because I was like, because Artisans project started getting some traction, I decided to just gift it to the community, and so there's nothing different about it, to be honest, except the fact that some of the water, where the balloonist is kind of frozen.
That's nice.
And there's a bunch of Christmas lights everywhere, and there is also some banners, I think, in one of the kind of corridors where it just says Merry Christmas from Valefort or something like this.
Oh, cool.
And there's a Christmas tree, I think, as well, somewhere in the middle.
Gotta have a Christmas tree.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So it's just a very basic little mod that you...
It's kind of like a skin for this, for the project. It's like, you could release a Christmas Glyde and themed training room or something,
Yes.
Yeah, we could be changing the training room in the full game, or even maybe in a demo. If Halloween comes, you could have a bunch of pumpkins and stuff like this. It would be so cool.
A lot of games actually
the color
do
of the sky. Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of games do that, and it adds a lot to the game, even if it's just for texture based. If it's just for looks.
Yeah.
It adds a lot of fun to the game, a lot of entertainment.
So that was basically the idea behind it. I was like, so what if Spyro was to be celebrating Christmas? And then that was it.
I'm leaving off the questions again, but I just thought about it before for Legendary. What was your you mentioned in a few episodes that you had some challenges with Norks.
I think there was some challenges with getting some of the Spyro rig to not break his neck. I don't know why. I think because the original rig that was put on the Spyro model was actually designed for the original Spyro rig.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember now. That was it. So yeah, so
he had one neck.
so that rig was from one model, and then we use a Heroes Tale model without the rig, and I had this brilliant idea so that we should use the same rig and just try to convert the rig to a Hero Tales model, but obviously that doesn't really work properly because the model is a different shape and size, and
it worked as well as it could.
Yeah, and it would have to be reweighted, and it's just it was a bit of an undertaking in a way to make it all kind of work. And obviously, it's like some people might say, it's what's such a big deal about it? You can just do it. But stuff like this takes time, and especially back then, I was at college. Griffin.
Yeah, I think I was.
I think you were at uni too and stuff. So it's you know, like we have our lives. We can't be sitting on this model for like a day or two, and just, you know, it just wasn't like feasible to make it like proper in a way, because stuff is like time consuming, and it's just, that's why that like this Artisans project is very like broken. People post videos on it, like on YouTube, speedrunning it in like 2 seconds because they can just just fall through the ground, and like, yeah, it's just funny, you know. Like whenever I think about this project, I'm proud of it and I'm happy of it, because I wouldn't be here without it. But it's just, when I look back at it, it's just so bad. Like it looks nice maybe, but the performance terrible, gameplay terrible, controls terrible, like the graphics and everything is like, the consistency, it's not very consistent either, and it's like, I've used custom assets with some marketplace assets, with some like ripped models. I textured them all with some textures from other models from marketplace. And it's just like, it's just like this abomination. I mean, it looks good, but it's like, yeah, it's a bit terrible in a way. Like, I don't know, like I know like a lot of people, they're like excited about it still, but I'm like,
it could have been
not.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit of a hater. I mean, if maybe it might be because of the fact that if I was to do it now, it would have been 100 times better. I would do it so much better. It would be so playable. It would be like on the level of Reignited Trilogy. That, like, I'm certain, like, because I would be so much better. That would be all so much better. It's just crazy. So yeah, when I look back at this game, I kind of cringe a bit, like at this Artisan project, because it looks nice, it did the job, but it's like, gameplay is just terrible. I feel ashamed of releasing something where like people could get stuck in the dialogue and they couldn't complete the thing, and they had to reset the whole game, or like, you know, like, or the dialogue was constantly repeating even when it shouldn't. I don't know. Oh, but the thing I'm really proud of is the cool idea that I've had to actually make the dragons that you free roam around.
I was about to get to that, yes.
Yeah.
I like that. That was one thing that I actually really appreciated.
It's like, why didn't Reignited do this? Like, imagine you free Nestor and he just stays there and you can come up to him and be like, hey Nestor, what up? And he's like, yo Spyro, thanks for freeing me. And he's like, yeah, you know, like, why didn't they do this? Everyone just loved this feature.
Because it wasn't like the original.
Oh yeah, like, but it would be such a good quality of life change, and it just made this homeworld like feel more alive, because you go to this area and there's this dragon that you freed walking around. It's so cool. I really hope if there is Spyro 4 and they again do like freeing dragons, I hope they stay. If they
or even
stay,
just having roaming NPCs.
Just roaming, yeah.
Yeah, but like, even if they stay around, like, just name one Valefor or something, so I know it's to me.
any Spyro 4 devs are listening to this, take notes.
Yeah.
Take notes. Well, so that's another thing, is like, every game out there, if there is a character you need to interact with, it's always stationary. They're always stationary. They're always in one spot. But if you make them roam around, you can limit their distance, of course. You can limit to how far they can go. But if you make them roam around, it feels more natural. It feels more alive.
It's like, where you find them to talk to them, it's like they have stuff to do as well.
Yeah, so it's like one day you go there and then it's somewhere else.
Yeah, they have to walk to that one section.
maybe if it's like a vendor, they're kind of usually staying in the shop, or at least very close to it. But still, they could move around. And maybe be like, oh, if you want to purchase something, come back to the counter, and then they go there. It's like that is just quality of life, just adds version to.
If you want to purchase something, we do contactless payments, and then they just pull out this little contactless terminal.
Anything else on that?
No, not really.
All right.
No.
So next question was basically, it was elaborated a little bit in the past 2 episodes, but for this episode, mainly for 1H and Legendary here, kind of explain a little bit about when and why
you heard about it, joined the project. I actually am just finding out that 1H, you actually technically wasn't really a part of this one. I thought you actually were.
Yeah, I came in after it was done. And I'm pretty sure, I heard it through Canadian guy, his YouTube when it was done. And I checked it out, but I don't think I actually played it. Maybe I did, actually. I don't remember. But found it really cool. I really liked the idea with the project, and I thought that because I literally at the time spent my free time experimenting with music and, just learning how to post things and how different stuff works together. So I was kind of studying Stuart Copeland's style by rearranging the Spyro soundtracks, and I was like, ooh, if he's doing more of this, I could maybe help out with new soundtracks and stuff, if have different levels coming out. But then I found out that was like kind of a set and finished project. But then, he was doing Glyde, and I think I said that in the last episode where I played Legend of Spyro, and I felt like maybe he's going in that sort of direction. But even if he isn't, I could probably help out with the music, because I've literally just worked on Spyro soundtracks and kind of had to figure out what makes them actually sound Spyro-ish, and that was something that could be used, then sure, I would want to help out. So since it wasn't, a one-to-one thing with Spyro, I still felt very compelled to, help with what I can and make this game really awesome, because I saw there was a lot of potential. So that's why I would say I was very interested. So if he actually, Val actually continued with Artisans Revisited, and started expanding on more levels, I would probably have asked anyway if I could join.
Yeah, so to add to that, it was a part. So originally that was an idea, because I was like, so if I could get this working and I could re-implement all the mechanics and stuff, like what's stopping me from just remaking all the levels? I know how they look. There already are the levels. I wouldn't have to make anything original. I could just remake them, But then I kind of was like, well, so is there a point in it though? Like, even though people would love to see a remake of Spyro, like, I don't know the IP. Activision owns the IP. It will take a lot of time. And what if the project just gets shut down, or if they sue me, or or like I couldn't make any money out of it, and I would have to sacrifice a lot of time to make this happen as well. And this just didn't calculate, so I was like, why don't I just make something similar, but my own, something original? And that's how the idea of Glyde came about. So 1H joined after the Artisans. So he initially joined to make music, but then, like I mentioned in some other episodes, he actually said that he's also working on his own kind of game in Unreal Engine, and he also can do coding.
Yep.
So that's how he kind of became a programmer as well for Glyde. He's done both now, music and programming.
Oh yeah.
The octopus, one of everything.
It's fun, and it's a really good learning experience.
Legendary, you want to add a little bit more to that as well?
Well, to be honest, I don't even really remember how it happened.
It was just there.
It was so long ago.
Yeah.
Because I've touched Unreal before this, because I was at uni at the time. So I had an idea of what was going on, but I was also like, majoring in animation specifically. So that was where all of my focus was. And I remember, I think I must have come across it from videos on Valvo's channel. Because either that, because I joined before it was finished, yeah. So I had I saw some updates, I must have, and then I joined the Discord, and I was like, well, you know what? I like dragons. I can do some stuff. And just was like, yeah, if you need help, I'll do whatever I can. I was still a bit novice at the time, but I knew how to do things. Maybe not 100% amazingly, but the basics were there.
Oh yeah, I mean, like all of us back then, you know, like it was all kind of like amateurish in a way. I mean, like I knew the pipeline, for example, to make 3D assets, but I wasn't good at it. Like I just didn't. I knew how to unwrap the model and how to texture models, but I couldn't draw the textures myself, for example. So I was like, oh. So I was just reusing a bunch of textures from other sources. Yeah, it's kind of like I guess modding scene worked in Half-Life, just getting existing model or something, putting a different texture on it and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, it was a long time back. Yeah, I can't really exactly remember how we kind of met in a way. I think
it just happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably approached me on Discord or something, or on YouTube.
Yes.
Or like in the comments or something, and then I kind of and then I obviously accepted the help because I was like, yeah, hell yeah, it would be so cool because I got some. Oh yeah, I think did you animate the sheep as well?
Oh, maybe. Oh god, I can't remember.
So to make them jump, to make them like jump when they're walking. Yeah, so
yeah, I just remember the Norks.
The Norks,
because the model was so funny, and like. I had to make them like go like jump when they got us alerted from the player.
But yeah, so yeah. I mean, it was fun. It was so long ago. Like again, it's like it's you know the old days. Back in the day. But yeah, it's like it's cool that we are still like all in contact and we still doing this together. It's really cool. It's like. I think we can all make Glyde like be like what we always wanted to make, like this high quality kind of professional game, you know, where we can kind of like now show off our skills, how we developed and everything.
Yeah,
it'd be really good.
You guys have definitely done amazing work, that's for sure.
Thank you. It's good to hear that it's like you know. That you like this atrocity.
So I'm going to get a little off topic on here because I just want to elaborate this. But back to Glyde, you know, the work you guys have done. I have played the game numerous times, and I've streamed it to some friends or to different servers, and people have watched and they've heard about this. And there was this one guy in particular, I can't remember his name, and I apologize for that, but he was watching me play it. And he was thrilled about this. Like, I cannot wait for this game to come out. It looks so good. It reminds me so much of the Legend of Spyro series. It reminds me of Dawn of the Dragon. It's like this game does so much for it. And I told the guys, like, you would think that this game was inspired by Dawn of the Dragon, wouldn't you? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. It's like, well, guess what? It's not.
Yeah.
Dreams crushed.
It's really funny. There's so many overlapping things, and Valofor just hasn't played. Oh, I made you touch. Yeah,
but I think that's what makes it so special too. I think that makes it so special is the fact that you haven't played those games, so there's no copying coming from that at all. It's all completely in your mind.
The only one I've played was when 1H forced me to play
the first one. You made it like to Tall Plains. It's roughly halfway through the game.
Yeah, like where the monkeys are or whatever. Yeah. So that's where I kind of stopped.
The monkeys are through the whole game.
Everywhere.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that was like the high green.
The tall plains. Very tall plains.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I wonder if it would be a cool idea to maybe do a stream like of me playing.
I reckon I'd be down to watch that.
Same here.
People would very much enjoy it because you have no idea.
Like the tutorials were so cringe. Like this lightning thing, I got PTSD.
You had Why would you have to knock one enemy into another?
Like, you know, where it tells you to grab one enemy and like do something with it. It's like, and it's just impossible to grab them because it's so hard. It's just so stupid, and it won't let you go past it. And it's like, and it takes like 20 minutes for this tutorial to use a move that you never use in the game. It's like, why?
The idea they had with the tutorials, that was fine, but it's just the way it was implemented. They didn't know what was gonna be used in combat. It's just why.
No.
And then you have the thing called Earth element in the game, and it's most broken element.
You just spam this bomb.
Wait, yeah, you haven't even gotten there yet, Val. But when you play and you get Earth element, you'll see what we're talking about.
Because I was already winning by pressing the
you're
button.
using the fire bomb or something. You have no idea.
Maybe, but yeah.
You can beat the whole game
you can
using
do that.
fire.
Fire is really
Just
strong
max
too,
upgrade
but
fire.
It pales in comparison to the upgraded Earth breath. It's dumb. Just have a shotgun that just eats health.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you tap it really quickly, doesn't it? Like,
that's in
barely...
the second game where you have the flail. Where if you, I think it's if you do Dragon Time, where it slows down, you have like the slow motion ability. If you do that, and then you just mash button, then you can do like with the Earth flail or something. Remember doing that to a boss, and it just deleted the health bar or something.
Oh wow. To be able to get not only my experience with it, because well, last episode I said I was at 33 hours. Now I'm at 65 hours.
Bro,
wow,
you have been gliding.
So quite a bit. So, but hearing other people saying how excited they are for the game and how much they're ready to play this. They're ready for the demo. And they can't wait to give it a shot. That speaks wonders for the game. And me personally, I'm a huge fan of the Legend of Spyro series. Despite how broken it was, it's still by far one of my favorite games I've ever played.
It was really good for its time.
This one, it really was, yes. I don't know what kind of dialogue you guys are going to have implemented in this game, and I feel like that is key. That could make or break you as far as the quality. The gameplay could be great, but if your dialogue isn't set, that could destroy a game. So if you guys nail that, hands down, will be one of the best games out there.
I feel like the community really, are looking forward to what the characters are going to be like. Like what can they expect from different dragon characters? What are they like? How are they going to react to this eruption stuff and everything? I feel like that's going to be one of the main things that people will focus on. So, we're definitely, working on making sure that it's very intriguing and that the characters are like distinct. I don't want to spoil more than that, but we're doing what we can, I would say, and we don't want to disappoint there either.
Right. So I took it off. That was my fault. I deviated from the question list, but I wanted to talk about that because it's fun. But so the next question here is, in some of the YouTube videos of this project, of the Artisans project, you mentioned Glyde as your original IP being worked on as well. Why did you work on both projects at the same time? Was it to gain more experience with the Artisans for Glyde?
Yeah, so I mean, it was just kind of... So I decided that I wanted to do an original IP, as I was working on Artisans, but obviously I had to finish the Artisans. So while, I was working on finishing the Artisans project, I was trying to kind of figure out how my original IP could look, I guess. I mean, I was just playing around with Unreal at that point. I found some placeholder dragons that I kind of, I used as a placeholder, and then I started building like a bigger kind of level and stuff like this, just to kind of visualize it in my head as well to how it could potentially look. What limitations does Spyro have that I wouldn't want to have in Glyde? So like I started with definitely bigger open levels. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the only reason why, really. I mean, I just had to finish what I started with Artisans. And I just, when I was taking a break from that, I was working on Glyde. Because I was motivated a little bit more because I knew that whatever I do for Glyde, it's technically not a waste of time because, whatever comes after for Glyde, I know that no one would be able to take it away from me. And, if it evolves into something bigger, then, it's obviously like my property and I can't get sued or anything. While with Spyro, I kind of like, at the end of Artisans, I was like, feeling that I'm working on something that doesn't really belong to me. I'm doing it in my free time. I'm spending a lot of time on this, and I could still get in trouble for it maybe in the future. So it's like, yeah, better, finish it off and move on onto Glyde. So that was like my logic behind it, really.
Okay, yeah, because I was always curious about that. Like, okay, you worked on both in the same time, so basically it was just the finish. You started Glyde and you wanted to finish the Artisans project, and that was the reason why you were working on two at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's like, a lot of people do multiple things at the same time. Like for example, even right now, we're working with an artist who's making some concept art for environments. And they're actually doing two pieces at the same time. I guess it's just to kind of take a break from one kind of even though you're doing, let's say, artwork, let's say I mean, I can give this example really because this is not like any spoiler or anything, but so the artist is working on one environment piece for nature region, but they're also working on one of pieces for the Earth region, right? So they're two different biomes, two different feels to them, two different styles, I guess, different vegetation, different shaped rocks, different color schemes. So I guess when you start getting tired of this sand, or then you move on to the trees in more green and bright environment and stuff. So I guess that's probably why. But yeah. So it was just my way to kind of get a break from Artisans as well and just work on Glyde in the meantime.
Awesome. I'm going through the Glyde chat right now, or Glyde server, and typed out Artisans, and I found stuff all the way back to October 21st, 2017.
Wow, yeah. Been a while.
All right, so next three questions is listener questions. Next one is from Wowen. What was the hardest struggle when working on the project?
Probably making it work, because again, it went way past the initial scale. Initially it was meant to be just it was literally just meant to be a tech demo, we recreated Artisans in Unreal. I wouldn't care about performance. I wouldn't care about how it runs, how it plays, because it was the aim was to make it look as good as possible, and that's it, because it was never meant to be playable. But then I decided to make it playable, and then that was it turned out it was actually a lot bigger task than I anticipated, because not only the different mechanics come to play, all of those different things I wasn't experienced in also came to play, such as the frame rates and the way the processor works, and that's why you have this issue with credits, for example, where if you have a faster computer, then they just go quicker, because I didn't know that tick is a thing and how exactly it works. So I guess just programming everything, making it work, making it not buggy and glitchy. That was probably the biggest struggle that I've had, and a lot of time went into this as well, and I'm still not happy with the result to this day. So yeah, that's that was probably the worst thing.
Okay. And getting off topic again, I just happened to find something. February 6, 2018, Legendary joins the community.
20 what?
2018. So 5 years ago this month. 5 years
18.
ago.
Wow, 5 years.
1 year
Oh
after
my
high
God.
school. Look at that.
So I was 23 then.
I'm 23 now.
Wow.
Oh, you must have had just about a birthday not long ago.
Oh no, I'm turning 23 in June. So, but
Why is everyone's birthday in June? What the hell?
because June is the best.
Of course it is.
My birthday is the birthday of Spyro. Well,
Really?
technically.
Whoa.
9th of September, man.
9th
Yeah.
September.
Oh.
But some people argue it's the 10th, I think. Some people argue, but I think Spyro was released on 9th of September, I'm pretty sure.
It could be because of time zones.
Hmm.
Yeah, it could be time zones, I guess.
Yep,
Time zones
always.
again.
Time zone strike again.
But yeah, so that's so yeah, I was destined to make Glyde, basically. I'm the reincarnation of Glyde, of Spyro, I mean, sorry.
You're the reincarnation of Glyde.
Yes. Good old days. I'm just going down the memory lane now.
It's really fun to look at old stuff sometimes, and also there's always a little cringe associated with it. But
Exactly. Yes. There's always that like, oh, why did I do that?
Yeah.
I do that when I go through my old YouTube channel. It's like, why are people still subscribing? I don't do anything anymore. And then I look at all the old videos. It's like, wow, I could have done so much better. That was terrible. All right, next question here. This one's from Raptoron. Were there any other secret, personal, or unknown projects before Artisans? Like anything else that
Ooh,
no one
that's
knows about?
interesting. That's interesting.
Sounds like he knows something.
Well, so I did one, two projects actually, but that was for college. One of them, I mean, I'm happy with both of them. It's just for one of them, my teachers, they didn't really understand. Yeah, so they didn't
They
like
never
it.
understand.
The typical.
Yeah, well, basically, right? So this is stupid. Yeah, I spent so much time on this, and I worked so hard. There was basically a 3D platformer called Derek the Sheep, right? And it was about the sheep. So you are on the farm, and you have to escape the farm. And there's like a bunch of cactuses and everything. You walk into one, and it kills you and stuff, right? I did this mud mechanics where you walk into the mud, and it slows you down and everything, right? But the key mechanic for platforming was that if you were to jump and you wanted to do a double jump, the sheep would fart, right? And I worked so hard and I worked so hard on this because it was making like a fart sound and this like green cloud coming out, right? And it just looked and felt so good. I still have this project somewhere, I think. So I might actually like send it to you. But it was so good, right? And it was meant to be like just a funny little game, you know, like the aim of this game, and we even put it into the documentation that it's like, you know, it's meant to be a joke, right? But they graded me down on the fart thing.
Oh no!
Why? Like the game. That's the purpose of the game. It's meant to be a funny game about a sheep trying to escape from farm, and because I wanted to explain the lore behind it. How can the sheep do a double jump? It farts. So you know why? And then
Disgusting, low grade.
Yeah. So they did it. So they like scored me like 60 out of 100 or something. because
That
of this.
is.
Oh my
really dumb.
gosh.
Yeah, and then the second game was like a horror game. Actually, I'm still quite creeped out by it when I play it. So
So you're creeped out by your own game.
yeah, I mean it's weird because it's like it's such a simple idea. I wonder if anyone actually done it now for like a proper horror game. But if it was called Lightmare, so it's kind of like Nightmare but light, right? But the idea is that you are like working in a hospital or like mortuary, right? And then you go for a shift, and then like the electricity goes off, right? Well, not electricity, so electricity kind of goes off. And you can, you have to restart all the lights and everything. And there is like like a zombie or whatever, like this kind of like huge kind of humanoid kind of corpse walking around and chasing you. But whenever you turn on the light, like it stops, right? So it's like well, as long as you're standing in the light, you're fine. But the lights only turn on for a few seconds, right? So you can often see them standing on the edge of that light, and they keep chasing you all the time. So the idea is that you need to find like I think 3 or 4 switches hidden in the level, but you constantly keep running away from this monster that's trying to chase you, and you can turn on lights in rooms to prevent that monster from getting into that room, but you only have certain limit of time in that room. So I still got this project as well somewhere, so I can send it to you guys if you want to give it a go. But it's quite creepy atmosphere, I would say. But it's also very simple, like. And the mechanics is also buggy and glitchy, I guess. But I mean, it's a very tiny game. It's kind of like, if I was to compare it, I would compare it to the very original Slender. You know, like this game. So you go around the forest, you just pick up pages and shit happens, right? So.
I don't do horror games, but I have played that. And it scared the absolute crap out of me.
It's still scary, like just the simplicity.
But the thing is, my game doesn't even have jump scares. Like
it's just the atmosphere, and then suddenly the monster's there, I guess.
Yeah, but it's not even like shouting at you or anything. Like it's not like I don't know. I have to find it. I actually am gonna have a look for it now. But yeah, so that's what it was. So yeah, I did like 2 little projects before Glyde, but that was like personal.
Interesting. He did know something.
Good question.
All right, and last one is also from Raptoron. Roughly how many hours did you invest in the Artisans project?
Wow. Okay, so I mean, this one.
Hard question.
I don't think I'll be able to answer this one because this is the same thing. Like if you were to ask me how many hours I spent on Glyde, it feels like ages. But it also depends how would we calculate the hours, you know, like because like with Glyde, we've been working on this for like what 2 years? 3 years?
Like I joined
2 like an actual development. I don't know, like
development.
Yes.
Years-ish for me at least.
Like when we actually started working on this, like when we actually started coding, when we decided like on working.
February 2020.
Yeah, so about 3 years, right? But we haven't been sitting 5 days a week working on Glyde, you know, for like 6 hours, for example.
In sprints.
It's like sometimes I was working once a week. Sometimes, you know, I had a break for 3 weeks. Sometimes 1H had a break for 3 weeks, you know. So it's like, how many hours did we actually... so it's like, how many hours did we actually spend on development? I don't know. I think if we were to do it full time, maybe we would shrink it all down to you know, a year like development, maybe. I don't know. Of actual days that we spent on working on the game. It's very hard to calculate because there's so many other things getting in the way. Like we got obviously we got lives, we've got work, we had studies. So like 1H was still at uni as well and stuff like this. So
does testing count, for example? Does writing story stuff count, or is it only?
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably like everything to do with Glyde, like because obviously you're spending your personal time on this, but like it's also like. Yeah, I mean, it's just very hard for me to say. I don't know. I literally don't know. I feel like I've been working on Glyde for ages. I try to do it most of the days when I'm off. But, you know, it's hard to say. Like, it's hard to say. Hundreds of hours, I will say.
I mean, that's probably a good answer. A lot of time.
Hundreds of hours for the Artisans, probably thousands for Glyde.
Oh, no, I was talking about Glyde. So for Artisans, probably, I don't know, in total... If I was to do it like 5 hours every week, so yeah, maybe like a couple, maybe like 100 hours or 200 hours for Spyro.
It's really not much.
Maybe about.
I think you're underestimating because
for Glyde.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, it's so hard to keep track of this, and like this way, it's like it's crazy.
Okay, it took me 110 hours to beat Persona 5. It's a long game, but it's not like it didn't feel as long as, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like whenever I see I've played Elden Ring for 200 hours, it's like, really? I only remember playing, you know, couple evenings and stuff like this, and yeah. So if you're busy and like having fun doing something, even if it's, you know, working on a game, it's probably higher than you expect because it just goes up fast like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And typically, yes. I mean, it's even the gameplay of it. Yesterday I put over an hour. It's like I wasn't doing anything. I was just wandering the area that you for the NPCs. That's all I did. And it was over like an hour and a half. It's like I was just walking around.
Nice. Yeah.
Time flies when you have fun, I guess.
I guess that just goes to show that there's a lot to have with just a few new places.
Mm-hmm.
True. And I guess like a bunch of NPCs too.
Yeah. And that area is pretty much all empty anyway. There's only NPCs there. There's no crystals, no chests, nothing. So it's like, yeah.
And there's a random pool of water, which is weird.
Oh, it's just a little lake.
A little pond.
Yeah. And it's purple.
I saw that. I was like, I wonder what kind of hidden treasures down here. Went to the bottom. I was like, nothing.
Yet.
Been duped.
Yet. There's a yet.
There's a yet.
Yeah, there is a yet. There will be. There might be something there.
Ho, 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 ho.
Oh,
All these hidden treasures and
Gonna
stuff.
be.
blink twice. If yes.
Wait, what?
Nothing. I don't know. I'm just messing around. Yeah. Let's go to the next question.
Yeah.
Before this gets weird.
Yeah. So that was actually the last question, and we did great on time. But Raptoron actually had a bunch, so I'm going to add another one.
Okay.
And another one is why dragons? Just for the Artisans Project, why did you choose Spyro? Why did you choose dragons?
Yeah.
Why not?
Exactly.
This is like, you know, this is a simple question. I'm a simple man. You know, I see dragons. I do dragons. That's it.
So no good explanation. Just why not?
No, I just love dragons.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're really good, you know,
Underused.
mythical creatures. I always loved dragons since I was a kid, and obviously Spyro was like probably like the first dragon that kind of started my love for dragons. And yeah, I just, you know, if I could be a dragon, I would probably be a dragon. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny, in parentheses, he says, besides, it's the only available dragon game.
It's like, yeah, it's very interesting to me that dragons go underused this much. It's like only Spyro where the protagonist is a dragon and isn't, you know.
I think it's probably because it's hard to make a game where you play as a dragon and you're not overpowered. Because whenever people think a dragon, they think a huge, powerful, mythical, almost impossible to kill beast. Right. Or, you know, even if you're playing, let's say, Elden Ring or something, when you get to face off with a massive Giga Chad dragon, you're like, oh,
dragon fruit.
This is the challenge. A huge dragon. You know, dragons are like the pinnacle of
final boss thing of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you think a dragon, fighting a dragon and actually winning against a dragon gives you like such a huge like confidence boost. You're like, oh yeah, you know, I can do everything now. But then how do you play as one when dragons are so like powerful? Like, how do you make, you know, you don't want to kind of make dragon feel very weak and stuff. That's why it's also hard in Glyde to kind of like balance it out, because like, you know, you are a dragon and there's those little like undead and they're like, you know, a dragon would normally annihilate them, blah blah blah. So that's why, you know, we have to kind of come up with solutions like, you know, corruption, and they're also weak because they have no access to their magic, stuff like this. So, you know, there are ways to make it work, but also I think it's probably not very economic because obviously they are quadrupedal characters, so that's one thing.
I was gonna say, not many games have quadruped main characters. In fact, Insomniac left Spyro because they didn't know what to do.
It's just not that. Yeah, it's just hard. Like even a good example here. You know, you have Crash, and they can just be pumping out Crash games because it's basically a humanoid rig, and you just have like human-like motion, and you know, it's like there are even generators online. You can like use Mixamo, and you can literally have tons of animations for free. You know, for human characters. But when you want to animate a cat, or when if you want to animate a dragon with wings, then it's a different story, you know. And you know, making it it's like dragons in Glyde are quite simple in design actually, and they kind of made to follow the same rig and stuff, so we can reuse it because later, But if let's say you look at like AAA titles like Final Fantasy or something. Those dragons, like there's so many different bits to animate and everything, it's just not feasible, I guess, for them. While we can get away with animation not being like super over detailed, like we don't have to have every fin moving independently. A lot of AAA titles would get like...
They would get scrutinized for that.
Yeah. People would be like, oh my god, so you are like $1 million worth company and you can't animate this fin on this dragon's head, you know. So it's while we indie, we don't have money, so we can get away with some things. Some things, you know.
Why is the grass color this wrong shape?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't attack the melon stand.
Yeah, but I think in general, like dragons are just amazing. So.
And I think that's another reason why people go to like the Wyvern game, Wyvern style, because there's less to animate.
Yes.
Would that be correct, or no?
That's one reason, but also it's just very popular.
Yeah, but also like with Wyverns, they kind of like birds in a way, I guess. You know, you have two legs and wings to worry about. You don't have to worry about separate arms. You don't have to worry about like wings being on their back. Because the wings on Wyverns, they kind of like on the side, because they're their arms, right? So even if they have like those weird like claws or fingers sticking out of their wings, they are still in the place where the arm would be. So you could potentially make a Wyvern with a humanoid rig and then just adjust it, I guess, maybe. I'm not sure on that, but...
Nah, they would make it from scratch.
Yeah, but then it's definitely easier to make a Wyvern rig, for example, and animations, because there's less bits to worry about than having a dragon with, again, 2 wings, 4 limbs, and then you also have a tail and everything, and it's just like...
Context is probably also everything, because if you have a Wyvern, it's probably not gonna be, around in like a civilized kind of society doing stuff, whereas if we're doing... here with Glyde, more interactive characters, yeah.
Oh yeah, and I think in general,
just fly and breathe fire, and that's it.
They seem to be more stupid than dragons, right? So that's probably why. They're like, you play a Wyvern, and like, I breathe fire, and then. But while if you have dragons, they're much more kind of royal, like they're like more serious, and they're more intelligent creatures in a way. Oh, there we go.
I really like Smoke, and he's basically a Wyvern.
But yeah. So why dragons? Because dragons.
Yeah.
Because dragons. Yep. Simple answer. So that's pretty much it for the questions. So from this point on, rapid fire. Anything you guys want to talk about? That I didn't ask or I didn't mention or anything that you, on top of your head, you want to talk about? I mean, it was a fun little project. It seems like.
I mean, again, like I said at the beginning, really, before we were recording, it's like, yes, it was a fun adventure, it was a cool project, and, without the Artisans project, Glyde probably wouldn't be in the place it is now. But personally, I'm proud and happy of the project, but I'm not pleased with the performance and like the quality it kind of represents. So I'm kind of glad it got left behind now, and it's like we can show off what we can do with Glyde. if I was to redo it, it would have been so much better. But you know, it's like it is what it is, and I just, you know, it just has to stay in the past now. I'm grateful for all the people who kind of joined the team, and to all the community members who are still like with us since Artisans Project. They're still on Discord and everything. So it's just, you know, really cool that, you know, to see the support and people believing in us, and I really hope that Glyde can deliver, you know, all the expectations and stuff that people have for the project. And I think it's also a good way to look back on Artisans Project and compare it with what we have in Glyde now, to see how actually it all kind of evolved, and how we started there with this barely working project, and now we have this good quality,
much more solid
game in the works, you know, something that's like, yeah, very solid gameplay, good controls, you know, all the bugs that are like minor, and they're also getting constantly fixed anyway. So like the quality is like, the jump in quality is huge. So yeah, I just hope, you know, people, whenever they look at the Artisans, they will see that we are you know, doing our best, and that we are still in it, and that we didn't give up or anything. We haven't forgotten, you know, the project, and we are doing our best to make Glyde even better than Artisans could ever be, I guess. Yeah, so that, I guess that's it from me. We see again, support Glyde if you can, any way, shape or form, you know, sharing tweets, that helps a lot. You know, Patreon, you know, being a member on our Discord, that also helps a ton. So, you know, if you can't donate or anything, that's fine. Just make sure your friends know about the game, and that will help us as well, because we will really need all kind of support that we can get when we start marketing the game for like Kickstarter and everything. So yeah, the more people, the bigger the chance. Yeah.
Doing this for people who really like dragons, and who have been feeling like it hasn't been anything, because Spyro didn't get a new game since 2019. No, 2020. No, wait. It was 2008 or 9, right? Dawn of the Dragon. I think that's the last.
Oh,
new
good
game.
point. Well, then Skylanders, but
okay, true.
I don't know if you wanna count
Skylanders. Yeah, I don't know if that, but
I mean,
but yeah,
Skylanders isn't. Yeah.
Probably doesn't qualify.
but yeah, we still wanna do, you know, something big and something unique, and you know, all of the support, just we really appreciate it, and it's gonna help a ton with getting this thing to blow up. It's gonna be nice.
You guys are definitely doing a great job. It's getting a lot of support, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, I've mentioned many times before, I'm a huge supporter of this game. I'm going to do the best I can to share it with anybody, and I'm excited to see what you guys offer. You know, I'm really excited for the full demo, because I really want to know what the dialogue of this game is. I really want to hear the story.
Yeah, there will be some.
The gameplay is good. The gameplay is solid. The storyline is what I'm really curious about now.
Yeah, we'll you know, since it's the demo, it'll probably be limited to some extent, but there will be, you know, a lot of content in the.
Sure, I can understand that.
You'll get in a general idea of what the state of the world is, but you might not necessarily know why and stuff. So, I mean, you'll see. I mean, we've got stuff pretty much planned and laid out for the demo, so we know what we're gonna do with it. But you know, it's like you'll have to play and see, basically, and then I'm curious what you're gonna think.
The final thing, it's gonna be so interesting, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to get it done and see like how is it gonna be received by everyone.
Yeah, and we'll see. I don't want to go into any spoilers or like review any secrets and stuff, but you know.
Yeah, like I mentioned, you guys have the gameplay down pretty good. You know, the concept of it is great. The storyline is just as important. So if you guys can nail the storyline, you've got a solid game.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna happen. Like, I mean, you'll see.
You got 2 pretty good writers on your team, so we'll see what they come up with.
Yes. Yes.
That's all I can say. I'm not gonna. It's like I'm very careful.
Yep. Anything else you guys like to share?
No, that's pretty much it, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks to you for doing this again. Obviously, we're really happy
sure.
to have people like you in our community because, you know, it's like, it's not only about you guys being part of Discord and chatting with us every now and then, but it's also like those friendships that we make. And like, you know, we try to be very approachable, you know, because some devs on certain games, like they don't really, you know, you join the Discord and you can see the devs being on the Discord, but they never talk and stuff. So it's like,
You never interact with them. They only post
yeah.
updates.
Yeah, we want to be like we want to be on the same level, like, so like whenever like you have any concerns or any suggestions, just you know, don't be afraid to say it, and we're gonna have a look at it because we want to make this game the best possible. We are fans of Dragon games, and we're also like fans of Spyro as well, so we want to, you know, make Glyde the best it can be. That's pretty much it.
And one thing about that, as far as the Discord server goes, your server is... I've been a part of multiple different servers out there, but yours is the only one, well, with the exception of another one, Lord the Dragon as well.
Yeah, shooters. Yeah.
You two guys, yes, shooter server is just as good. You have more, obviously, more followers, and usually that can be an issue. Usually when you have that many more people join, it tends to get a little chaotic. But you have order in your server. It's everyone respects each other, and there's none of that stuff that is involved that makes people feel uncomfortable, because a lot of people don't like joining big servers. I've actually had people say, I'm not going to join because I don't like joining big servers, because there's a lot of stuff that just makes them feel uncomfortable. And I reassure them, it's like, look, this is not how this is operated. I don't like that kind of stuff either, and I feel like being on this server it's like being around a bunch of friends. It is completely, you know, you can talk to everyone respects each other, everyone police themselves, so it's very respectful.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what we want to do, you know, that we want to keep the place nice and clean and also welcoming to everyone. So it's like, you know,
games, dragons, Glyde, and Spyro. It's cool. Coid, yeah, of course. That's
I had to get my Coid plug in today.
Nice. Having a nice space for everyone, I think, is good and nice and healthy, and just, you know, overall enjoyable for everyone.
It's very easy for servers to go into chaos.
Yeah, and I've been through a couple of them, and I'm like, I had to leave. and it's just uncomfortable, and it's like, I'm sorry, I can't be a part of your server because I don't feel comfortable. But this one and Lord of the Dragon are the two that I don't want to be on any other one. I don't care to be on any other server. These two right here are very respectful, and I like being on these two servers.
Nice, thank you. Good, it's good to see that we're doing something good with the Discord as well.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we can maintain it like this.
Yeah.
When the demo hits, and probably gonna have a lot more people joining in.
A lot. Can get a lot.
We're gonna keep the same kind of mentality. Everyone is gonna, you know.
In general, the idea is just respect other people, and you know, just treat them as you would like to be treated. And you know,
exactly.
If you can't behave, then you're out. That's it. Just, you know, simple as that.
All right, close out. If you'd like to send us a question or feedback, you can email us at glydecast@gmail.com, and we will discuss it in the next episode. If you want more information about Glyde, you can visit glydethedragon.com. We are also on Discord. Look for us in the official Glyde the Dragon Discord server. If you want to support the game, you can also contribute through Patreon. Benefits include exclusive Discord privileges and early access with voting capabilities on game content, as well as an NPC with your own custom name and message. Links for all this will be in the description. Also, a video version of the show will be available on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and we will talk to you in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you next time.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. I think I just broke Glyde.
Awesome.
What a good start.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, I done goofs last night.
Oh no, what did you
Goofs.
Yeah, so when Arrow was talking about the costs for what was it, Ultimate Guardian on Patreon, he was
Yeah.
putting up this random number. It was like, that's, even if you're in a different country, that's ridiculously high. That must be Ancient. So I was going through Ancient, and let's see. So I was going through Ancient.
Yeah, I remember reading.
Yeah. So I don't
Dragon fruits.
up where I meant to like drop the page down and I accidentally hit update,
Oh,
and there goes $182 out of my account instantly.
Oh.
Like,
Dragon fruits.
I can refund this if you want.
I'll think about it.
Because I've done it before. Someone accidentally bought like I can't remember which tier it was, but they accidentally, instead of subbing for a month, upgrading for
Oh, they
a
did the
month,
year.
they did the
Oh,
whole
no.
year.
Yeah.
And they were like,
Dragon fruits.
I don't have any money for like anything else now, and I'm like, just I got you, bro. And yeah, I think I refunded them, and it was there like back on their account next day. So if you want me to do it, I can do it now. Let me see.
Yeah,
Next day, that's pretty quick.
Yeah, I think that was like. I think
That's-
it takes
that's
about
fast.
a week or so. It says, but I think it must have been their bank or Patreon just being really good, because it was like literally they messaged me next day like saying it's all there.
yeah, because I do the yearly method.
Uh,
Deal.
oh yeah, 182.
Dragon fruits.
So yeah, I can refund that now.
I'll think about it, because I was actually thinking about doing it. I wasn't quite sure.
It's up to you. Do you want me to press the button, or do you want to think about it and let me know?
I'll
It
think
says
about
it'll take about 5 to 7 business days to process.
I'll think about it.
Okay, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Like you was. Oh, you know this. You know how you pasted this character from League of Legends, by the way, in the chat. I just
Yes.
seen it. I literally had this happen, but it was with a different character from League of Legends.
Dragon
So
fruits.
they posted League of Legends Lee Sin.
Wow.
Like the blind monk, yeah, right.
Oh
and I
my
was like,
God.
oh,
Dragon fruits.
that your artwork? Can you? So that's what I'm after. Can you do this? Like, and they're like, yeah, sure. That took me about 2 weeks. I was like, oh, nice, man. And then I've literally told them, so what's this character's name? And they said, oh, I don't know. Someone just commissioned me this character, so I just drew it. I was like, all right, sure, man. And then I was like, and then I was like, all right. So by
They
the way,
don't even know, like, bro. At
I mean,
least
they probably
research.
did, but I mean, yeah. Oh my god. So
I feel like
so that's
as
the
a
thing, because yeah, okay, keep going.
I was saying, I feel like as a commissioner, you're gonna know that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
but then also like see, so that's where it's a little bit confusing, because there's this borderline between like, so you have those bots which they kind of all talk in a similar way, but it sometimes looks like, or it feels like a real person takes over in a way, like they are writing like.
Oh, it would. I'm guessing it's
This
probably a
character-
bot detecting the posts, and then afterwards the scammer comes.
Yeah,
in to,
once they
Yeah.
think they got like the hook that they have a
Yeah.
potential, then yeah. So
Oh, for God's sake.
But yeah, this,
But
this
yeah.
character, they don't really have a name. It's like it's something.
Yeah.
It's commission.
I just came up with it.
Yeah.
God.
He was meant to be like
Yeah.
this hero character.
someone just wanted him to me to draw themselves as a superhero. So I think I'll put an S on their chest as a superhero, you know, because they're super. And
is-
I like the
Genius.
the way the blue and the red work together.
With the background of the snow, yeah.
Yeah. Never
It's
seen
like,
this
you know,
character
like so
before.
you usually wear pants underneath your trousers, so why don't we just flip it, you know? Like,
Isn't that unique?
like bruh.
Also, it's such a good art piece. I would say so that means like the price has to be a little high. I hope you can understand. This is like
Yeah, you
really-
know, like you see this see those shadows and this realistic rendering.
Yeah, man.
Took me 2 months to do actually. Like I had to draw each individual like you see those little kind of
I drew
this
every
texture.
well, I drew every pixel with my butt cheeks.
Yes, every.
Oh.
I mean, to be honest, if we're talking about Artisans Revisited, I was thinking about it. It's probably gonna be quite a short episode. There isn't really that much about it, to be honest. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't remember.
Dal, let's
What?
be honest. You're going to be talking on this show too.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's true.
All right. 3, 2, 1, click.
Dragon fruits.
Sorry.
The glide bomb straight away.
All right, you ready? We'll start
again.
over.
Yeah. I had lost my mouse on one of my monitors.
Like, no, where's how do I click the button?
Where is it gone?
Oh my god, I just need to say, I just went on the Griffin stream. And this is literally
Yes.
something I was thinking about today as well. Like, I was like, oh, that would be cool if it was like this. So it's like, great minds think alike, I see.
Really
Yeah.
good art.
This is gonna be
Of course.
perfect.
That's
I think those two
awesome.
could have a really fun race. Imagine having like a flying challenge. You're racing. Purple boy.
Oh. Hey Val, whenever the multiplayer is like established better, you need to make a mod where the second player Glide turns into Spyro.
Oh boy.
Like a cheat code in the menu.
And then I can proceed to get sued by
Oh, good point. Yes, awesome.
It would have to be something people make on their own release. We
Yes,
can't-
it
we
would
can't
have.
do
Yeah,
anything
it
like
wouldn't
that.
have. It
Yeah.
can't be a direct copy. It can't be a direct copy. It has to be just a color scheme.
Looks really cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's keep going. Keep going. I just wanted to appreciate some art.
Original art.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not a butt.
None of this AI bull.
Dragon fruits.
Whoops, I said a word.
Well, you're gonna have to.
Oh, dragon
Next time,
fruit.
once
You're gonna have to dragon fruit yourself.
once again, not Eliza doing the.
Again, it wasn't me.
Not Eliza first. Well,
Surprise.
technically, she will have the first dragon fruit in the blooper.
Technically, yeah.
Technically, yes. 3, 2, 1, start.
Dragon fruits.
That's true.
Now you're gonna
That's
have the
true.
second one.
Yes.